Employment harassment encompasses a lot of things, but what it is primarily, it's offensive conduct in your workplace that's directed at a person who is a member of a protected class. And when I say protected class, I mean that it's a characteristic that you have that is either your race, your gender identity, your sexual orientation, your national origin, your religion, your genetic information, stuff like that. Typically, in an employment harassment case, you're going to need 4 critical pieces of evidence. The first is going to be that this harassment was carried out by someone who is your supervisor, who can hire you or fire you, or even who you just perceived could hire and fire you, but maybe they really couldn't. The second piece of evidence that you're going to need is that the conduct was pervasive, that it didn't just happen the one time and then it stopped, but maybe it happened over a series of weeks or months or, heaven forbid, years. But the conduct has to have occurred more than one time, such that it's created a hostile work environment. The third piece of evidence that you're going to need is that the company that you work for, they knew about this harassment. You reported it perhaps another coworker of yours reported it, or perhaps your higher-ups had direct knowledge of this conduct themselves, but they failed to take any action. And then the fourth piece of evidence that you're going to need is that adverse employment action was taken against you. And that could mean a number of different things. That could mean you were perhaps demoted, or perhaps you took a pay cut, or they reassigned you to the office that's across the lake, or of course, they could have fired you. If you're involved in a workplace harassment issue, it's important that you call us immediately. Don't wait until the adverse employment action is taken. This happens all the time. People call me, I've been experiencing this in my workplace, and I ask them, have you been fired yet? Has anything happened to you? And they say no. But then I advise them, this is what you need to do, this is who you need to report it to, and if your company fails to take action, call me back, and we'll have you ready for your civil suit. After a workplace harassment issue, you're very likely to be damaged, specifically emotionally, because a job is somewhere that you have to show up to every day. And if you're fearful that this conduct is going to happen to you every day while you're in a place that you have to be, it's going to mess with you. And sometimes that damage can be permanent. And then second of all, you're likely to have economic damages. Perhaps you don't have a job anymore, or perhaps you had to take a pay cut because of it. Our firm has extensive experience with employment harassment cases. Our firm has been handling these kinds of cases since 1977. Client communication is everything. The client might think that they're taking a backseat role, and while it's true that we're doing all the heavy lifting, we wouldn't be here without the client. So having that partnership is absolutely critical. We're going to work together from beginning to end, so we have to be there for one another at all times. Our law firm is different for a lot of reasons, but primarily because we are trial lawyers. We're not going to get you in here with a bunch of fancy talk and then try to push you into a cheap and a fast settlement. We're not afraid to go to trial, and in fact, we enjoy going to trial. So that's what you can expect from us. Our office is a small firm. We have a total of 3 attorneys, and we do have numerous support staff these days. But the advantages of having a small firm like us is that we're very attentive. We have the time to meet with you individually. You can call me. I'm very available all the time. During your initial case evaluation, we're going to sit down and we're going to go over together everything that's happened to you that brought you into my office. We're going to go through all of the facts. We're not going to leave any stone unturned, and we're going to take as long as it takes to get through the whole thing.